Cancer happens on top of your life. And for me, it was just too overwhelming.
Have you ever watched someone you love fight for every breath, knowing you're witnessing the end of a life and the beginning of a legacy? In today's video, we share the deeply emotional story of Ananda Lewis, TV host, activist, and powerful voice of a generation, whose battle with breast cancer ended in heartbreak. Her sister has now opened up about her final moments, and what she saw will bring tears to your eyes. This isn't just about loss, it's about love, courage, family, and a woman who refused to let illness define her. Ananda Lewis wasn't just a television host, she was a trailblazer. Rising to fame in the late 90s as an MTV VJ, then hosting her own talk show, she became one of the few Black women in mainstream media speaking boldly, authentically, and with heart. She was smart, sharp, and full of soul. Ananda used her platform to uplift young people, especially Black women, encouraging them to speak up, love themselves, and embrace their power. But while millions saw the strong, outspoken host, very few knew what was happening behind closed doors. In 2020, Ananda revealed she had been battling stage 3 breast cancer for nearly 2 years, privately. Why didn't she go public earlier? She explained that she didn't want pity. She didn't want people to treat her like she was already gone. She wanted to fight the disease her way, with natural treatments, a positive mindset, and most importantly, peace. Her sister later shared that Ananda was deeply spiritual. She believed her body could heal. She believed in miracles, and she held on to hope until the very end. But as the cancer spread, even Ananda knew the clock was ticking. In the final months, Ananda's health began to visibly deteriorate. Her sister described quiet moments filled with reflection, Ananda journaling, praying, and spending long, still hours with her son. She was tired, her sister said, but she was calm. It was like she had made peace with whatever was coming. At times, she was in pain, but she refused to let it steal her dignity. She still asked about everyone else. She still smiled when her son walked in the room. She still tried to mother us all, even when she could barely sit up. Then came the final day. Ananda had asked for lavender oil, soft music, candlelight. She didn't want a hospital bed. She wanted home. She looked at all of us and said, "Thank you, I'm okay. Let go of me now." Her son, her world, sat beside her, holding her hand. Her sister whispered verses into her ear. And in those last moments, Ananda closed her eyes and let go. She wasn't afraid, her sister said through tears. She left on her terms. That was Ananda. Today, Ananda Lewis is remembered not just for how she died, but for how she lived. A fierce advocate for wellness, education, and women's empowerment. Ananda's voice still echoes in the videos, interviews, and memories she left behind. After her passing, tributes poured in, fans, celebrities, former colleagues, all sharing stories of how she impacted them. Her sister shared she didn't want a funeral, she wanted celebration. So we gathered, we danced, we laughed, and we cried, because that's how she would have wanted it. And maybe that's the real takeaway. Death doesn't end a life, it ends a body. But love, that stays forever. Ananda Lewis lived her final moments with grace, honesty, and courage. And through her sister's words, we are reminded of how powerful and how precious a life truly is. She taught us that illness doesn't define a person, that silence can be strong, and that the most beautiful goodbyes are sometimes the quietest ones. So tonight, light a candle, say a prayer, hug someone you love. Because as Ananda showed us, life is fragile, but legacy is eternal. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.